This is TradeFlow News, bringing you relevant news and insights from around the world. TradeFlow News, enabling trade for SMEs and economies worldwide.
TradeFlow Capital Management celebrates 5 years of strong returns and SME success. To find out more, please visit www.tradeflow.capital.
These are some of the key topics that we will be looking into in today's program.
First, let's take a look at the overnight headlines which are impacting the commodity markets. Oil prices rose on Tuesday on expectations of potential economic stimulus by China, healthy demand in the rest of Asia and the drop in U.S. crude stockpiles. Brent crude futures rose 64 cents, or 0.8%, to $84.82 a barrel at 0557 GMT, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate futures gained 67 cents, or 0.8%, to $80.41 a barrel. Data from China showed that consumer inflation in March hit the slowest pace since September 2021, suggesting demand weakness persists amid an uneven economic recovery, which spurred expectations Beijing may take steps to boost growth.
India remains the main destination for Russia's seaborne Urals oil, with about 70% of such exports heading to the country. Reuters monitoring and data from 2 industry sources showed on Monday. Attractive prices for Urals mean good margins for Indian refiners, while term contracts between Russian and Indian companies and lower freight rates are also helping keep supplies elevated, one of the sources said. Last month, Russia's Rosneft and Indian Oil Corp announced a supply deal for up to 1.5 million tons of Russian oil, 11 million barrels, per month from April 1st.
Moving on to the top news in the energy sector.
Russia has increased its diesel exports to Brazil and other parts of Latin America following an embargo on shipments to Europe, traders said and Refinitiv Icon data showed. Russia has long been the main diesel supplier for Europe, where refineries do not produce enough fuel to meet domestic demand for diesel cars. But a full EU embargo on Russian oil products since February 5 has diverted Russian diesel exports to Asia, Africa, the Middle East and STS loadings. Last month, Russia also sent more than 580,000 tons to Latin and South America, with almost 440,000 tons of those volumes heading to Brazil. Another 140,000 tons are destined to Panama, Uruguay and Cuba, Refinitiv data showed.
India's fuel consumption jumped to a record high in March, data showed on Monday, fueled by robust economic activity in the world's third biggest oil consumer. Consumption of fuel, a proxy for oil demand, rose by 5% from a year earlier to 4.83 million barrels per day, 20.5 million tons, the highest recorded in data going back to 1998 from the Indian Oil Ministry's Petroleum Planning and Analysis Cell. Victor Katona, lead crude analyst at Capella, noted that bitumen, used for building roads, was the main source of growth in March, whereas transportation fuels, specifically diesel and gasoline, had been the drivers in previous months.
Next, we have the top news in metal markets.
Peru expects to produce 2.8 million tons of copper this year, a senior official said on Monday, representing an almost 15% jump from 2022, in a bright spot for the Andean nation's top export. Peru, the world's No. 2 copper producer, saw output affected since December following anti-government protests and road blockades spurred by the ouster and jailing of former President Pedro Castillo. The mining sector is now working as normal, Energy and Mines Minister Oscar Vera told reporters after providing the new forecast. A Reuters analysis in early March showed that major copper mines were cranking up.
Gold prices advanced on Tuesday after falling over 1% in the previous session, as the dollar eased ahead of key U.S. inflation data. Spot gold was up 0.5% at $1,999.09 per ounce, as of 0649 GMT. U.S. gold futures rose 0.5% to $2,014.40. The dollar index was 0.1% lower, making bullion cheaper for overseas buyers. Investors now awaited the U.S. consumer price data due Wednesday for more clarity on the path of interest rates heading into the Federal Reserve's May policy meeting. We will now look at the top news in the agricultural sector. Good to excellent ratings for U.S. winter wheat deteriorated to tie the lowest on record for this time of year as dry soils continued to stress the crop in the U.S. plains, the government said on Monday. The U.S. Agriculture Department's weekly report also said farmers made scant progress in their corn and spring wheat planting, with cold temperatures and snow cover across key portions of the Midwest limiting the window for fieldwork. Winter wheat was rated 27% good to excellent as of April 9, down 1 percentage point from a week earlier, according to the USDA's weekly crop progress and conditions report.
That is all for today's news on commodity markets. Stay tuned to TradeFlow News as we continue to provide you with more updates. We also invite you to follow us on Twitter at TradeFlow News, which allows you to watch our program on your mobile device or desktop to receive information from there.